Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 495 at scavengerlife.com.
So, Ryan, today we are going to put on the hat of a scientist.
Great.
We're going to be an internet scientist, looking at things and describing them.
Okay.
And like scientists, we don't know the total truth. We're just we're giving our hypotheses and talking about the evidence.
Great.
But we're happy to be wrong, okay?
I'm ready.
Here we go. What are different people's relationships to their eBay store? Mm-hmm. Like, what kind of different stores are out there? What kind of different scavengers are out there?
Right.
Because I find when we post podcasts, we'll get different people commenting. And I can tell people are coming from all different angles. So I wanted to sketch these out like we're in a forest looking at different creatures out there. Okay?
Yes.
Number one, I think that there are a lot of part-timers.
Yes.
These are people who I think are either they work a job, they have a family, and then at nighttime when their kids are asleep, they go down and they work for an hour or two.
Right.
Or they're retired and they have Social Security or they have whatever, their own
supplemental
money.
Income.
And really, oftentimes it feels like they're just doing it kind of for fun.
Right.
Someone like your mom almost.
Yeah.
And often these are the people who often stop selling on eBay. It's real easy for them to turn it on or off.
Yeah.
They might not even have a store. They're just selling on eBay.
Just items.
They're often the ones that are using the 50 free eBay items a month, you know. And it's cool because it's a really good way to make cash.
Yeah.
You know? If you have a job and you can make an extra $500 a month, I mean, that's a lot of money for me, $500.
Yeah, I mean, pay a bunch of your bills just for a hobby. That's cool.
If you're retired, and you didn't know what you're going to do with your life, it's a fun thing. You're treasure hunting, you're finding things. And, it makes you feel active. I think the challenge is just to stay focused,
Because it's easy, like you said, it's easy to turn it off.
Yeah.
Or just walk away for a little while.
Right.
Which is part of the, beauty of it.
Like Thanksgiving and Christmas comes and family, I mean, maybe not this year, but, you're dealing with family and holiday stuff. And then, here comes January and you're just like, maybe I'm not going to start, selling again right away,
So this is a good example. When the post office was getting severely delayed in December, there were quite a few sellers on our forum, and I read actually on Reddit who were like, I'm just going to put my store on hold until this clears up. Yeah. I'm not doing that,
Right. We're not, we don't have that.
I'm taking the risk,
Yeah, and these are often the people that show up on our forums and they're like, oh, I haven't sold in 4 years. What is up with this thing on eBay? What's this managed payments? I forget that eBay
things change.
It's slow to move, but if you're away for a couple of years, eBay can seem like a foreign
managed payments.
country.
You're like, what?
Okay, the next that I have. These are really interesting creatures, all right?
Yeah.
the sellers who are also new, but they're super dedicated and they're just on the edge. I mean, these are the people I feel if they sometimes they post videos online, but in their comments, they're so committed.
Yeah.
They probably watched some videos online about how you can make a lot of money selling. Maybe they even sign up for a course, or maybe they just heard our podcast, or I don't know how they found it, but they're super they get it.
Yeah,
and
they're in.
They take over their basement. They're we got 2,000 square feet, no problem. Mm-hmm. They go and they shop at the Goodwill bins, because they've seen all the haul videos and they're just getting stuff. And they make a lot of money quickly. Right. They'll say things like, I just started January 1st. It's March. I'm making $4,000 a week or something.
Right.
And I'm just that's incredible. Yeah. You are finding really good stuff and you're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
And, it's cool because they're starting a business really fast, and they seem to be doing well.
Yeah.
I think the challenge is that these are people who also just have really small inventories. Like sometimes these people will post their numbers on our forum, and they'll make more money than we do in a week.
Right.
But their inventory is like 300 items.
Yeah.
Because they're just selling everything they put up.
Yeah.
And the challenge with that is like you're on the edge. Like,
well, sustainability is the challenge.
You can't stop. And
right.
I'm not saying that that's a problem. It just means like you really have to be committed to like either you're always full tilt.
Yeah.
Or you somehow be able to grow your inventory a little bit faster so you can slow down at least a little bit so your inventory can carry you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I've always wondered about these people if they burn out after 6 months or something like that.
It reminds me of the people you see, before the pandemic, obviously, at auctions. I think these are those people where it's a couple, they might have a kid, they're young, and it's like they have a box truck full of stuff. Like they buy a box truck full of stuff. And, we bought truckloads of stuff, of course. But then you never see them again at the auction, or you know. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know these creatures. I'm unsure about because, like you said, it's hard for me to see them over a long period of time. And I don't know if they just disappear because they're just getting to their lives and they run a really cool business and they're just not active online because they're just busy making money, or if they've burnt out. I don't know.
Now, my question is, were we like that in the beginning?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, everything
That's what I want to say.
Everything we're saying right now is that like, we have been these creatures
at different points,
and like a butterfly, I feel like we've been evolving. And not saying like we're at the pinnacle. It's just we've just become and I'm going to talk about it. Yeah, I'm going to self-critique ourselves. Right. Okay, the next kind of seller that I see is really kind of a next step to the people on the edge. And that is like the people who are now big growth in like exponential profits. I mean, these are the people who, they figured it out and then they're like, okay, I'm going to rent a warehouse. I'm going to and then I'm going to buy like a box truck. Right. Like you said, we're going to get employees. Yes. I mean, they go big because, and we've talked about it. We just haven't done it. You're just like, we could buy truckloads of stuff every single day. Every single day, every single week. There's so much money out there. You can. If we just had enough capacity. And process. Like you said, if you have, because I have one helper. Right. Right now, I actually cannot keep up with my one helper. And he's just 10 hours a week. Right? Yeah, it's like, I mean, if we had 5 people going full time, you gotta. Could you make $2 million a year? So some people do. That's who these people are, and these people again are like really interesting people to me. And again, I don't really see where it ends for them. Mm-hmm. They often branch out into Amazon, or they start in eBay and then they go full on Amazon because they're like, oh, we don't even have to store this stuff. We'll just like buy stuff and like send it FBA. And then then they're buying and then they're getting to private label where they're like flying to China and like making. There's this one seller, Gil Daddy and his wife, Daddy and Gil Mom. It's just so funny. I don't know if they even make videos anymore, but like they were these people where they seemed to be making. They would go to Tony Robbins conferences. Yeah, they were like he was so prolific. Yeah, I mean they were just like. And then they flew to China and they like were making their own products and then they just stopped making videos and either they're just like super rich right now. Well, also I wonder if they don't want to talk about their process because they're like, we used to sell stuff from Goodwill, but now I can't actually talk about my process. So I don't know. It's cool that is a way to make huge money. It looks like to me, although I always wonder about their gross profits versus their net profit. Right, like their bottom line. But, and again, the challenge is just being able to... I think the reason why we've never done it like that is just because we're afraid of the risk, because I'm assuming you're having to put a lot of risk, buying a lot of Amazon inventory, you're putting like credit card debt, or I don't know. Okay, the next. This is almost like a 180 change. It's the lifer. It's like the lifer scavenger. Mm-hmm. The kind of guy and gal that I see, like, I feel the most like camaraderie, and that's when you go to like an auction, and they have like a permanent number. Like they go to this auction every single week.
Like they have a hat that has their number on it
because the auction house knows them. They've been going there for years, and it's almost like their relationship to scavenging is like it's a lifestyle first, and then it's a business. It's part of their life. I don't know, where. They're going to the auction not just to buy stuff to make money, but just because it's like where all their friends are.
Well, that's their social circle,
and they have such great knowledge, deep knowledge, very often in very small areas. So it's like the guy who just buys like sterling silver and coins, or or
the person who just does Civil War relics, like they just know everything about it.
And they're the ones who I'll see, and they'll sit around the whole auction. Like I'll be there the whole time too, 4, 5, 6 hours, and they might buy 2 things. Or like one small box. Like that's all they get.
It's
and
amazing.
Then they go home, and I imagine, again, I don't know. I imagine that they have like a table in their house, and that's like where their store is. And they might only have 20 or 30 things online at any one time, but they probably do really well because they know,
it's research heavy.
Like they buy something for $5 and they sell it for like, I don't know, $800 or something, and so they're really strategic. I've also seen these guys where they go to these auctions and then they'll buy not a whole lot of stuff, but quite a bit, and then they have like a booth at the flea market. Because I'll see them over there and they sell. But those are really interesting people. The cool thing about that is it's just like, it's just a cool lifestyle. I think that's why I have the kind of camaraderie. It seems like it seems fun.
It's built in, they're just like, I will always do this. I did this before eBay, I'll do it after.
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're getting rich off of it. And I don't know if they depend on that money.
They're like a combo. Like they might have a spouse that has a job. They might have Social Security.
And they often tend to be older. Although, I'm thinking of one guy in particular, the guy that has the clipboard.
Oh, yeah, that
guy. Who shows up to the auction and like he's like... he's a younger guy, but he also, like, he'll sit around the whole auction and
he'll buy 2 things.
2 or 3 things.
And we're like, you sat here for 6 hours and you bought 2 things?
But I'm thinking that he's, like, so strategic. He's like, I just paid $100 for this, and I'm going to sell it for, like, $10,000. I don't know. I don't know. That's the only math. Okay. And I may be not seeing little creatures in the its forest, but these are the ones. All right. Let's talk about us. Where I think we are. The kind of creature we have evolved into. What kind of scavenger are we? So we've gone through a lot of these. I think where we're at, and we talk about it, I don't know the right term. It's kind of like autopilot mode. It's not really autopilot by any means at all. But it's what we've talked about many times, where we've like been able to grow our inventory. I mean, we have almost 8,000 items. And it seems like it's kind of, we can't get
we kind
past
of like
that.
stay at that level. It
seems
just
like,
doesn't get...
we list, you list, sometimes no items in a week. Sometimes 10, sometimes 30, you know. But it's not like the old days where we were doing 20 items a day. List 20 items a day. Go, you know. And that's fine because we sell between 30 and 60 items a week. Like consistently. I mean, we've been doing this long enough where it seems pretty tried and true for us. We've been through the 2008 economic collapse. We had an eBay store. We went through, I don't know, other years, we've now been through a pandemic. Our store has been about the same. I mean, it's remarkably...
It's steady.
Consistent.
It's pretty consistent and steady.
Where we can make between, $1,000 to $2,000 a week.
Yep. Yep.
Kind of in and out. And I feel like our store specifically for us is like not lowest common denominator.
Right.
Not trying to find the most popular items.
Right. Not super, super high end.
What we have is, like when you go to a little small town, it's not the junk shop.
Right.
It's like the more curated design store
right.
where people go in and there'll be old things that don't really have names on them, but they look cool and people pay money for them to like put them on their shelf. I feel like that's the kind of store we have, you know?
Because we definitely have, look, I buy china, I buy glass, like, that is stuff I never, ever thought I would buy and sell. And I actually really enjoy it.
Candlesticks, weird
candlestick
metal
holders.
Things,
like a metal thing that I literally do not know what it is. And I'm like...
But it looks so cool.
Right. But, you think there's someone out there that can do it. But in terms of Autopilot, it's sort of like... I'm trying to think of to look at a graph, right? And you see it go up and down. You just see the graph going up and down because, there are times, like we said, we're trying to open a coffee shop and finish a building and, run a couple other businesses at the same time. So there are times where I'm just like, my helper still comes, he's still getting through a backlog of stuff that we have. But I just have 180 scheduled listings that there are evenings where I'll list 10, 15 things. And then there are days where I don't list things for, I have other stuff to do. So in terms of Autopilot, you're the sales stay steady and I try to list when I can and I never turn it off. We never turn it off. But we also never are full tilt. Right. Because we just have other things happening,
Although the cool thing is and the way we do it is that, we're no longer, in the early days, we were like some of these other scavengers. We were scavenging almost every day.
All the time.
Almost every day.
Almost every day.
And for a long time, 2 or 3 times a week.
Right.
For several handful of years, and that's
it
how
was
we
our
were
full-time
able
job.
to,
I mean, that was kind of our full-time job,
and I loved it. Now I think we've gotten efficient enough, and we kind of know where we like to scavenge, where we can scavenge a handful of times and eat on that for a long time.
For a while.
So. For instance, when the pandemic came and, like a lot of people, I was kind of concerned. We can't go to thrift stores anymore.
Yep. How are we going to source?
Yard sales aren't smart to go to. I mean, in-person auctions are closing down. So I did some online scavenging at some online auctions.
And it was actually preferable.
I did it once a week for 4 or 5 weeks, and each time I would buy a truckload of stuff.
Yep, boxes and boxes.
So, we'd buy it online.
Yeah.
And be tables of stuff.
Yeah.
I'd go, box them up, bring them back, put them in our storage. We still have 6 boxes, big boxes of stuff left that we've been eating on for the past 6 months.
Yep.
And so it's just a different relationship, and it's nice because we want to put up new inventory and I want to take advantage of the cool stuff out there, but we don't have to. There isn't a pressing need because I've been doing what's cool and the challenge. So what's cool is that we kind of have a consistent income. I mean, again, I say that there's no guarantee, but eBay pays our monthly bills, which is great.
Yeah.
The challenge for us is always burnout.
Right.
And that's kind of why we've developed our store the way we have.
Yeah.
Is that for us, we couldn't go full tilt like this for as long as we have, selling for a decade.
Yeah.
I think our personalities, we need different projects, and that's why we, got some rentals and why we're starting a coffee shop. It's
what I look for, because we have this conversation constantly. I think we had this conversation on one of our walks the other day where, you know, you're like, we can stop, we can, you know, just do one business, you know, and it's funny because we always are like, well, I'd just be bored. Like, it's not that I'd be like, I'm so bored and I have nothing to do. I'd find something to do, but it tends to be these like large projects that we think will have great outcomes. You know, there's a reason why we're like going through this and doing these things. And that's just our personalities. In
the like template of modern day capitalism, I mean, we're both kind of in our time frame where we should be making the most amount of money as we can because this is it. Like we've worked up to it. This is when you make all the money, and then
you retire.
Then we
supposedly
and die. So
and then you die.
So we're not special.
Yeah.
Okay. The one question I have, and this is kind of the end of this science portion of our show. I've always wondered what other people do when they have it's mature eBay business. Mm-hmm. I mean, I see these people on our forum. I don't know them. I mean, I know them from just how they post every week and the things they talk about, but I really don't know what they do in their real lives. I mean, they often make more money than we do. Yeah. Because they just get really good inventory and they must have access. I mean, it's incredible. I always wonder what they do with their money and with their time. You know? Right. Like, we've been able to do some really cool things with the money we've made on eBay. I'm like, what do people do? Like, when people are making a lot of money, I'm like,
what are they doing with it? Are they just saving it for retirement?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm assuming a lot of people have kids that are not cheap. So there's education and college. So we have rentals instead of having kids. I think that's I also wonder what they do with their time. Yeah. You know? Like
well, are they working because they make a good income? Also, are they just working all the time, you know, to make that income?
Well, so when we talk about these eBay scavenger creatures, I mean, I just feel like if you've been doing this for 10 years, isn't kind of having a larger inventory and having like
to free your time.
Autopilot, isn't that kind of the natural way? Because I don't know how anyone could be doing this 50 hours a week forever, right. You know? Yeah. I don't know.
It's a good question. I mean, hopefully someone who thinks that's their profile would answer.
I also wonder, too, how many people out there sell on eBay for years, like consistently. Yeah. Not like I started in 99 and then I stopped for 10 years and now I'm doing it for a year and then I stopped again. I mean, like, how many people have stores and are just selling, you know? I don't know. Okay. That's our, like,
creatures of eBay.
Our eBay science time.
Yeah. All
right, let's talk about our specific week this week.
Yes.
We are a good example of the ups and downs. Yeah. Last week, we had, I think, our worst week of 2020. Mm-hmm. We sold $784.09.
It was Christmas.
Not including shipping. Yeah. We sold 30 really items.
Low.
You know, it was just
low
like,
whatever.
Items. It was like we didn't hit the number we need to hit. This week, we sold 52 items. Yeah. Almost twice as much. We made $2,029.60. Man. Not including eBay. I mean shipping.
Not including eBay shipping. Yeah. You got to remind me what we sold. I think I was in... I know that there were definitely days where I was like, I got to ship like so many things right now. I don't have time to do anything else.
So a week ago, our average price was $26.13. This week, it was $39.
Good. Oh, thank God.
And 3 cents. Oh, you know, and so God. That really
higher
helps too. Yeah.
Higher dollar items.
So, you know, things we sold, like we sold a nativity set for $140.
This was such a cool set. It was, I believe it was made in Mexico. It looks like Mexican pottery to me. These tiny little pottery figures and like... the Joseph and the Mary and one of the angels had these like metal like halo things coming up. It was cool. Yeah.
I mean, you know,
but I put a high price. I mean, that's a high price, but I was like, I've never seen anything like this. This is neat.
That was a cool thing. It was just like in the bottom of a box, but it's like when you go to some cool unknown design store, and you're like, this is like special,
it's handmade, it's painted,
unique.
Each piece was made by hand.
We sold. Okay, so we had a coffee machine in our house, like a super automatic.
Seiko.
Put your coffee under it, and it,
we used it too much.
we paid $350 for $300.
$350. Yeah,
we had it for a couple of years.
Yeah,
it broke. We tried to fix it.
It just wouldn't fix.
You scavenge a lot of parts from it, and those are up now. And then you just put the casing.
Yeah, it's like it was like the body of the thing with the front panel.
Sold for $100.
Now,
nice.
The hilarious thing is I parted out... I'm still listing stuff, actually, because I have to look up all the part numbers and the names and stuff. I parted out as much as I could. And then there was, like, the base with the front panel. The back panel was taken off. Like, I parted that out. And Jay was like...
It sat in our,
I know.
In our front room here for 6 months.
Literally 6 months. The entire pandemic. I was like, oh... So Jay was like, let's just throw that part away. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm putting it up for over $100.
I said, let's put it online or let's donate it.
Okay, so I put it online.
And it sold within a week.
It sold within just a few days for an offer of $100.
And it seemed
yes.
to be a guy that specializes in...
well, his username was like...
Seiko parts.
Or something like that. So you're like, oh, this is my perfect person.
We... went to Amsterdam a couple times in the beginning of the 2010s. Teens.
Several times.
So I think it was like 2013 we went and found like this cool thrift store kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was a fun adventure.
Oh, right.
And we bought all these maps.
Yes.
Like I found in the corner, someone had made these giant handmade, they were so, I don't know.
Well, they were a print of a watercolor painting, a map of old Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And
numbered.
Yeah, they were limited edition, numbered, and signed by the artist in pencil. And we bought this whole roll of them. We had one framed. I'm looking at it right now. Right. It's in our sunroom.
We paid like $1 or
€1 each.
€1 each. And
we bought like 20.
And it was like such a big thing because we had to like find a way to like wrap them and put them in a tube.
Put them in our luggage.
And then I actually carried them on the plane and like jammed them up above me. I was so worried. And then we bring them home and just
nobody wants them.
It was like one of those...
It took years to sell them.
One of those things where you're just like, I don't know, I'm not marketing this right. Nobody wants them. So we just sold the last one
for $15.
7 years.
To someone in Great Britain.
I thought they would be selling for like $200 each.
No.
And it's fine. We made money. It was an adventure. But yeah, just one of those things, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then... this happens every so often. We sold a shirt that I am modeling. I keep thinking those kind of clothes are gone because
we still have pictures.
That
of
kind of puts
modeling.
A flag in the time period.
It's like 2014.
Must be 5 or 6 years old.
I know.
And I look like a maniac.
Man, there's some pictures of us modeling stuff where I'm like, I was definitely in a bad mood.
It's so interesting. Like we were so committed to modeling our own clothes, not to like. Because we think we're models and like...
Well, we wanted to show the proportions.
We were just so committed.
We were just like, this is how you do it.
I think, too, back in 2008, that was like the hot trend to like model your clothes. Right. And we were like kind of doing it punk rock. Like, we're not going to be models and find like young girls to wear these clothes. Us. We're just going to wear them ourselves.
Well, there's that. And also like the competition... for vintage clothes and stuff was people taking really bad pictures on the floor.
Right.
And we were like, that's stupid. We're going to do it different. And then finally I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to take a picture on the floor. Like, right. And it's going to sell anyway. So it's fine. And it's faster.
Yeah. So that's a good example of us evolving.
Yeah.
I can remember those times in our life where we'd be like, all right, let's take pictures of clothes.
Well, and the problem is it takes two people.
Right.
So two people have to be doing this. One person can't be doing other things.
We would go up there and we would negotiate what kind of clothes and how many. It'd be like, I only have the ability to do 10 today.
Yeah, and,
yeah.
We'd fight all the time.
I'd be like, That's 20.
That photo's out of focus. What are you doing?
Yeah. But it was good. It made us feel really close to our business and whatever.
It's just what we did at the time. And we don't do that anymore. It worked. It was fine.
People bought stuff.
Yep.
Okay, with customer issues, how is shipping going for us?
So the good thing is, I just typed this up on the forum. I have noticed since right before New Year's, stuff is moving through our regional hub, which was shocking to me, because that means that our packages have been sitting for half a month to a month just outside the regional hub in Richmond.
Well,
just sitting there.
Our small post office, the lady we know there said that happened.
Yeah.
They were just parking
trucks there.
Container trucks in the parking lot and just waiting for
that's true.
it to slow down.
Because, now they're moving. So stuff was moving, and then I had a rash of packages for eBay and for the coffee business that we shipped on March 17th. March. That was a long time ago. December 17th. And they just started moving yesterday.
Right.
And so I got a message from someone who had a sweater that I shipped. And she's like, I'm just checking on this. It hasn't moved. And by the time I wrote to her, it had gotten a scan in Richmond. And I'm like, these are the craziest delays I've ever seen, but this is starting to move. It's not lost.
And I don't know if eBay's doing a better job communicating to people, or people are hearing it.
I've had almost no one ask.
It's one person a week who is asking us, and they're not even being
and they're super
aggressive.
Patient.
Yeah.
And thank goodness. I was like, yesterday I was actually starting to pull up the information on the December 17th packages and start to file claims, because I'm like, if these don't move soon, I'm going to have to refund people. Yeah. One person did ask, it was someone who I shipped something, I think it was December 3rd to Colorado. It's a trench coat. It's just not moved anywhere. So I actually did file a claim for that, because he opened a case. Yeah. So I'll have to refund him, and I hope that the post office refunds me for that.
But, if we end up refunding two or three people,
we're good.
And we sold, since December, 200 items. I mean, that's, I think, good.
That's pretty good.
During a pandemic.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm happy with that. And I've also noticed, just in terms of shipping, that stuff we shipped out this week for coffee and for eBay have been moving at a normal, slowish, like going through several regional hubs, but still moving and getting delivered. So a little bit slow for a priority, but stuff's moving and stuff's getting delivered. So I think the backlog, I think what's happening for all the shipping nerds, I think they're bringing new packages in, moving them out, and then grabbing part of a tractor trailer and being like, okay, scan these. Yeah. And then, okay, scan these. So that's what it seems like is happening.
So it's good.
Yeah.
It seems like the worst is over.
Cross your fingers.
Okay, things we learned in the forum. So I learned that last week I put out my idea for
chili dog.
And
the chili dog survey.
It's like trying to mix high culture and low culture. So you go in and you get a delicious espresso drink.
Yes. Gorgeous. Best one you've ever had.
Freshly roasted. Yeah.
Phil hands you a latte. Right.
But you can also get a chili dog with cheese and onions.
Oh, good God.
Two of them,
Okay.
2 for $5.
Right. Okay. And we overwhelmingly heard what was the answer to that.
No. People were like, I don't want to come to your coffee shop. That's disgusting.
Now, I will say this. There is a way to do high-low.
Okay.
Just like you said. I would gladly serve chili. I would gladly do a soup that's a chili soup. I think that's different than what you're doing. I will gladly serve, people were like, you need a sausage and egg biscuit. Absolutely.
So, I guess my question is, and Steve
that's different.
Brought up, what's the difference between, a cheese egg,
egg and cheese
gooey
meat.
egg and cheese and meat sandwich versus a chili dog.
Now look, you said it right then, actually. Put raw onions on it. No. Like, we're not serving things with raw onions. Like that's just not the flavor profile we're going for with our food.
But
I think there is a time and a place for that, and it's a different place.
Okay.
So,
I mean, some people were saying, get like a hot dog cart out front, so people can
I have like only so much bandwidth to like do a business. I'm like, let's open the coffee shop and then let's move on to our next project, which can be something else.
I am going to be the one who's like, this isn't going to be a hoity-toity.
No.
It's going to be rustic and honest.
We have been making our menu and it's not hoity-toity at all.
Right, okay.
It's not even
like a pork chop.
I mean, we're talking about stuff that is accessible and affordable and delicious and presented well. And that's our goal. So I think a chili dog is over the edge, though.
Okay. So we're gonna all right,
so we're doing it.
The other thing that was interesting, this comes up from time to time in our community because, people are like, they're like, in America, especially, people are like, "What do you do for?" It's just like a common.
What do you do? Like you go to a party,
who are you?
Or like, what are your hobbies? What do you do for a living?
Because we judge each other about what we do. So so this happens from time to time when someone's like, "This is what I do." So what do I say?
How do I say? They said they were applying for a passport and they had to say their occupation.
And so specifically, so in America, when you do a passport, you put your career on there.
Really?
Which is
It's not on your passport, though.
It's somewhere on the application.
Okay.
I can remember doing it. We actually did a video work on.
I just say video producer.
Okay, so people were coming up with different things. Yeah. If you want to say you sell on eBay, online sales manager, online retail specialist, online marketing expert, capital repurposing and marketing.
Capital repurposing. That's awesome.
And marketing. Or Junkman. Or just call yourself a scavenger.
Trash elf.
Some people are like, just small business owner.
Or I've said a lot of times there are like check boxes for things like that, and you just say self-employed, which can be anything.
Some people were saying a profit archaeologist.
Oh, what? That's amazing.
Yeah.
And people are, look, I used to like tell people, what do we say? We made online videos, and I remember people would just be like, I have no idea what that means. And you're like, okay.
It's before when there were a lot of videos on the internet. So some people were just saying, going low, like say you're a rag and bone man. A
rag and bone, yeah, exactly.
A mudlark.
Yes.
That's funny. I mean, I was like, what if you were, I guess it's legal, and you could call... I could say I'm a trash elf. Yeah, and then and they would probably then pull me from the line every time. Yeah, they're like, what do you do? Yeah. It was like, I'm an alchemist because I'm doing trash into treasure. Oh, wow. Lead to gold. That's amazing. Right? Yep. So there was some It's true. Yep. That's great. E-commerce entrepreneur. E-commerce specialist. Social media ninja. Look, that is totally a valid, it would probably be the most sense. I never say anything about e-commerce. I don't know. It's just... I think it's a loaded word. I just always call myself a video producer because it sounds like people understand what that means. Right. I'm a video producer. Yeah, I don't know. And I barely do that. I'm like, I made a video last month. But I did. Okay, let's go to the comments or questions that people sent us this week. You can call our voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486, or you can email us an audio file. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com. Hey, Jay and Ryan. I have a question for you, but I want to qualify it first. I just want to say, please take the question in a positive manner. I'm not trying to make a negative statement or put you guys down or anything. But my question is, in the past, many times you've stated how much you like the aspect of eBay where you can sell items online and you don't have to have a physical storefront. That you don't have hours. And I can remember Ryan saying how she could not imagine having to be
at a physical storefront at say 8 a.m. and sit there all day, and maybe on certain days maybe you'd only have a few customers, and it would be a grind, and it would be, maybe 5 or 6 days a week you'd have to be there for specific hours so people would know when you're open. But now you're opening a coffee shop which has a physical storefront. So I'm curious, what switch was thrown in your mind that changed your opinion so dramatically? And I hope your coffee shop is successful and Broad Porch Coffee is successful, and my mother enjoyed the coffee I ordered from you guys for Christmas. So have a good day.
All right, this is a very good question. I will never take offense. I don't.
Oh no, it's a great.
I never take. I mean, look.
I ask myself the same question all the time.
We put ourselves out here, so we never take offense.
Yeah.
So it's a good question, and we have said many times the reason why we love eBay is because we don't have to work at a job.
Yes.
We don't have to go into a place.
Yep.
Do what someone tells us to do. Work certain hours. All those things. We can take off.
Stuck in a place.
We can take off any day we want. Like Tuesday could be Saturday. It doesn't matter. I could go see a movie. Well, I can't right now, but Okay, the answer is this. We are not opening a coffee shop ourselves. Like Jay and Ryan are not like the coffee shop owners alone.
Right.
We have partners.
Yeah.
Our partners, Phil and Jill, who already run a coffee shop in the next town over.
Yep.
We're partnering with them. And so they are going to be in charge of day to day. We are still going to put time in because we love, just like we love to like put on our clothes and take pictures of them for eBay. We love to be part of the process. But the whole opening day to day is not going to be on our shoulders.
Right. And the other thing too is, we will be working there. And we will be working there in the first, 6 months to a year, because we need to establish ourselves as like, we're part of this community. People know it's us, et cetera, et cetera. But this is true for every business we've started. You get employees because especially like, very good example, eBay and Airbnb. eBay, the first how many years? 8 years? We did everything ourselves. And then we got to a point where we're like, we're making enough money, then I can have a very part-time person take all the photos. That was a huge burden off of us. So I can still do the business, but I don't have to do it every single day all the time.
And like in Airbnb, we like cleaned our rentals for
a year and a half.
Yeah. Every
single turnover, we cleaned that house. And then we were like, let's just
now that we understand the business, we can now hire people. And for this, Phil and Jill, they are experienced restaurant cafe people.
Yes.
We're going to be hiring people off the bat. I mean, they already have people who work for them in their other shop.
Right.
So, I mean, the other thing, too, is this is special to us in the sense of, like, look, it's a business. We're capitalists. We're trying to make some money here.
Yep.
But we love this town, and part of this is putting time into this business, showing up, like you said, so other people in our town can feel like this is a comfortable place to come and hang out.
Right.
I
also see it as a very different business than a junk shop or whatever. Not a junk shop, but like an antique store or a vintage store. Here's how I think of it differently. And I thought of this the other day. When someone comes into a store where you buy items, they will probably either, it's one or two, walk out and not buy anything, or buy something and then they leave. With a coffee shop, if you're walking in, you're probably going to buy something. Because why would you walk in and be like, oh, I just want to see what you guys had, and then leave?
Right.
You're like, I'm here for a coffee.
It's like, I know what you have.
Yeah, like, we're here for a coffee and a sandwich and whatever. So I feel like it's a different
It's more of a
model.
social.
It's social.
So,
it's food.
I think the other thing is we may end up hating it. I don't know.
Yeah, like we might just be like,
I'm open to all possibilities.
Yeah, so, but we see it differently.
Yeah.
If you and I were opening this by ourselves and not planning to have employees, okay, so that's a good answer. We didn't do it that way because we were like, we don't want to do it. I don't want to be stuck here all the time. And any owner of any business is going to say that. They're like, I need my employees to be trained so that I can go do the other things in the business or my other businesses.
Yeah.
And that is the point of being the owner.
But, the thing I like about it is we talked about this the first 6 months, a year. There's 4 of us. There's 4 partners.
Yeah.
We've talked about every hour that coffee shop is business, at least one of us is there. Because it's important for this first 6 months to a year that one of us is there to help set the tone.
Right,
to
the personality of the business.
If you're not just handing it over to an hourly worker, you're
because we've seen those businesses and those businesses fail.
So I don't know. We'll see. This is again, I've said it's before. We could be documenting
our failure.
So this can be slide number 28 on the story of our business.
But I'm pretty sure we're doing it the way that makes sense for us, that feels correct.
We're doing the best we can.
Yeah,
trust me, we grind our teeth and wrench at our hair, wondering if we're doing everything right.
If we're going to fail. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, anything else?
That's it. That's it for calls, if you can believe it.
And just, people who don't know, maybe you just came up on this. We run this eBay store. We've talked about it. We're a creature in the woods.
Yes.
We're scavenger elves, trash elves. But we also are starting this coffee business. And you can buy coffee right now, broadporchcoffee.com. Or broadporch.coffee, whichever.
That is a URL, broadporch.coffee.
So we roast twice a week. We would love to ship some coffee to you.
USPS is moving those packages.
If you drink coffee for a living like we do, try us out. Anyway, this podcast is now ending.
In 3, 2, 1, bye.